1, 2, 3!
The animal kingdom hides its dangerous weapons behind rows of teeth, venomous fangs, and bone-crushing jaws. These animals don't just bite, they trap, tear, and attack with precision. So tag along to watch the most ferocious mouths that shocked the whole world. This thing looked straight out of a nightmare. Flat, lumpy, and staring up with a mouth that could probably swallow a whole shoe. The fishermen had already hauled it onto the boat, but it still looked ready to attack, its gaping jaws lined with rows of small, sharp teeth. The way its mouth hung open made it seem like it was frozen mid-snarl, as if it was still trying to grab something even out of water. Its skin was rough and bumpy, almost like a rock that had suddenly come to life. Whatever this creature was, it definitely wasn't winning any beauty contests. One thing's for sure, if something like this is lurking in the deep, I'm keeping my feet out of the water. Great white. As the man lightly touched the great white shark's nose, the giant predator reacted in a way that left everyone stunned. It slowly opened its mouth. In that moment, its true power was on full display. Rows of razor-sharp triangular teeth lined its massive jaws, each one designed to tear through anything in its way. But what made it even more terrifying? Its teeth never stop growing. The moment one falls out, another takes its place, ensuring its bite stays just as powerful. Though it remained calm on the surface, the sight of that massive mouth was enough to send chills down anyone's spine. For a brief moment, the man had witnessed the ocean's most perfect hunter up close. Vampire fish.
We've just seen this payara floating down the river, quite a big one, still alive. We thought it was dead to start with. On investigation, it's got another one down its throat, and Flavio's just grabbing hold of the tail of it and pulling it out. Here we go. Look at that, here's the tail of another fish.
A group of fishermen expected an ordinary catch, but what they found left them stunned. A fish had been caught with another fish, still trapped in its mouth. As they examined it closely, they realized it was a vampire fish, also known as the payara. Its most striking feature was its long, sharp fangs, which curved upward from its lower jaw. These dagger-like teeth, some reaching up to 6 inches, are designed to pierce through prey in an instant. Unlike other fish, the vampire fish doesn't just bite, it impales its target with terrifying precision. After getting a good look at the strange predator, the fishermen carefully released it back into the water, watching as it disappeared into the depths, ready to hunt once more. Hippo. A hippo's jaw is one of the most powerful in the animal kingdom, capable of delivering a bite force of around 1,800 psi. Their mouths can open nearly 180 degrees, wide enough to fit an entire adult human inside. Though they are herbivores, their massive razor-sharp teeth can snap bones, crush canoes, and even bite crocodiles in half. These powerful jaws are not just for eating. Hippos use them for dominance and self-defense, often engaging in fierce battles. Their tusk-like incisors and canines grow continuously, reaching over a foot long. With such incredible strength, hippos are among Africa's most dangerous animals, proving that their mighty jaws are built for far more than just chewing plants. Gharial. Gharials have long, narrow jaws packed with over 100 sharp teeth, perfectly designed for catching fish. Unlike crocodiles, their slender snouts aren't built for crushing prey, but for speed and precision. Their jaws are incredibly strong, snapping shut with lightning-fast force to trap slippery fish. Despite their delicate appearance, gharials have one of the strongest bite forces among crocodilians, using their wide mouths to scoop up multiple fish at once. Males have a bulbous growth on their snout called a gara, which amplifies vocalizations and plays a role in dominance. While they rarely attack humans, their razor-sharp bite and powerful jaws make them formidable hunters in the water. Goblin shark.
Goblin shark is really one of the most freaky deep sea sharks there is. I mean, it looks like a goblin, it looks like a monster. That's how it got its name.
Deep in the ocean, a strange creature moves through the water. Its long, flat snout gives it an eerie look, making it stand out from other sharks. With its pinkish, almost translucent skin, it looks like something from another world. This is the goblin shark, a rare deep-sea predator that has existed for millions of years. Unlike most sharks, it has an elongated head with sensory organs that help it detect movement in the darkness. But its most shocking feature is its bite. Its jaws shoot forward in an instant, grabbing anything in its path before snapping back into place. The sudden movement is so quick that prey don't even have a chance to react. Though rarely seen by humans, its unusual mouth and hunting style make it one of the most fascinating creatures lurking in the ocean's depths.
It has the ability to distend its jaw way out in front of its body and then snap it back to catch food.
Alligator snapping turtle. The alligator snapping turtle might look like a prehistoric tank, but its mouth is where things get really creepy. A man picked it up, showing off its massive jaws, and the moment it opened wide, it looked like a dark pit lined with rough, bony ridges. But the weirdest part? A little worm-like tongue wiggling around inside. Nature's ultimate fish trap. The guy tossed in food, and before you could blink, bam! That mouth snapped shut with insane force. The size alone made it intimidating, but those jaws? Pure nightmare. It wasn't just any turtle. It was a living fossil with a bite that could crush anything unlucky enough to get too close. Safe to say, nobody wanted to test those jaws with their fingers. Dragonfish. In the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean, there's a fish that looks like it chews on shadows for a living. The dragonfish isn't big, but its mouth is packed with long, needle-like teeth that seem way too large for its face. It has a wide, eerie grin that looks like it's always ready to bite into something. Its jaws can open wide to trap anything that comes too close, and in total darkness, it's a silent hunter. With its terrifying mouth and ghostly glow, this fish proves that the scariest creatures aren't always the biggest, but they definitely have the sharpest teeth. Wolffish. If fish had bad tempers, the wolffish would be the angriest of them all. This deep-sea predator has a mouth that looks like it was made to chew through anything, and that's exactly what it does. Packed with thick, crushing teeth, its jaws can snap through shells, crabs like they're soft snacks. When it opens its mouth, it reveals a set of fangs that could make even sharks think twice. With its rough skin and grumpy expression, it looks like a creature straight out of a legend. But it's very real, and its mouth is proof that the ocean hides some seriously tough predators. You do not want to get nibbled by this one. Jaguar. In the middle of the dense jungle, a jaguar rested on a thick branch. Then, without warning, it stretched its powerful jaws wide open in a slow, lazy yawn. But this wasn't just any yawn. Its massive mouth revealed some of the strongest teeth in the animal kingdom. Long, thick fangs curved downward like daggers, built to crush bones with a single bite. Even its back teeth were razor sharp, designed to slice through flesh effortlessly. The jaguar's pink tongue curled slightly, adding an eerie contrast to its fierce-looking maw. For a moment, it looked almost peaceful, but one thing was clear. When that mouth snapped shut, anything caught between those teeth wouldn't stand a chance. Spotted hyena.
Alright, so this is a spotted hyena, guys.
The spotted hyena might look like it's always laughing, but its mouth is nothing to mess with. A man carefully held its mouth open, revealing those thick, bone-crushing teeth. And yeah, the hyena looked surprisingly friendly. But behind that grin is one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom. Unlike big cats that use fangs to grip their prey, hyenas have rock-solid molars designed to crush through bones like they're nothing. That means no leftovers. Everything gets crunched down and swallowed. This one might have been calm, but that mouth is built for pure destruction. Friendly or not, if those jaws ever decide to clamp down, you'd better hope you're not what's on the menu.
She has such strong jaws, she could bite my fingers off immediately without a problem.
Human teeth.
Look at those teeth. He wants to get a piece of you.
The sheepshead fish is a master of crushing and grinding, thanks to its dense, bony jaws and an eerie set of human-like teeth. Unlike most fish, it has multiple rows of stubby incisors and flat molars, perfect for breaking open hard shells. This unique dental structure allows it to feast on crustaceans, barnacles, and mollusks with ease. Instead of swift attacks, the sheepshead relies on steady, relentless pressure, wearing down its prey's tough exterior. Its bite isn't just strong, it's precise, letting it pry food from rocks and pier pilings. Whether in coastal waters or brackish estuaries, this fish's unyielding grip and unyielding appetite make it one of the ocean's most efficient shell crushers. Black mamba.
Guys are very quick. They're said to be the quickest snake in the world.
The black mamba may look smooth and sleek, but once it opens its mouth, there's no mistaking its true nature. This man had kept one as a pet, and every time it stretched its jaws, the sight was both chilling and mesmerizing. The inside of its mouth was pure black, an unmistakable warning. Unlike most snakes, the black mamba doesn't just bite once. It can strike multiple times in rapid succession. Its jaw structure allows it to move with unmatched speed, making it one of the most efficient hunters in the wild. Keeping such a creature as a pet was no ordinary choice, but for this man, it was a chance to witness nature's raw power up close.
So cool. We got him. We got him. He's in there.
Mandrill. Mandrills have incredibly powerful jaws, built for both defense and communication. Their long, sharp canine teeth, larger than a leopard's, help them establish dominance and fend off threats. Despite their mostly plant-based diet, these strong jaws allow them to crush tough foods and protect themselves when needed. When a mandrill bares its teeth, it's not always a sign of aggression. It can also be a social signal within their group. Their impressive bite force and striking appearance make them one of the most formidable primates in the animal kingdom. Teeth goose. A goose's mouth may not look terrifying at first, but it's surprisingly fierce. Their beaks are lined with sharp, serrated edges called tomia, which function like tiny blades. These ridges help them grip and tear through tough plants, insects, and even small animals. Inside their mouths, geese also have spiky, backward-facing papillae on their tongues, adding to their grip strength. While their bite isn't powerful like a predator's, it can be storing and combined with their aggressive nature, hissing and relentless chasing. A goose can be quite intimidating. Their mouths are designed for efficiency, making them unexpectedly fierce for a bird that primarily eats grass. Basking shark. The basking shark may look intimidating with its enormous size, but what truly grabs attention is its massive, gaping mouth. Instead of hunting, it's filtering, pulling in thousands of gallons of water and trapping tiny plankton with its gill rakers. Its jaws can open over 3 feet across, making it one of the largest mouths in the ocean. Rows of tiny, hook-like teeth line its gums, though they're rarely used. Despite its size, this giant is completely harmless, drifting through the sea with its mouth constantly working. Sarcastic fringehead. The sarcastic fringehead looks like an ordinary fish until it gets annoyed. The moment something comes too close, its mouth flies open like a giant trap, turning it into one of the most aggressive creatures in the ocean. The inside of its jaws stretches wide, showing off bright colors meant to scare away intruders. If another fringehead shows up, things get even weirder. They press their huge mouths together, pushing back and forth in a strange battle for territory. It's not about biting, it's about who has the biggest and most intimidating mouth. Despite its small size, this fish doesn't back down from anything. Watching it flare its jaws open feels almost unreal, like nature's version of an underwater face-off. Pelicans, a group of people stood near the beach, watching as a pelican slowly approached. Its large throat pouch swayed with every step, ready for its next meal. A man tossed a fish onto the ground, and in an instant, the pelican snapped it up, but instead of chewing, it tilted its head back, letting the fish slide straight into its pouch. The flexible skin expanded, holding the catch before it was swallowed whole. Unlike other birds, pelicans don't tear their food apart. They gulp it down in one smooth motion. With one final gulp, the fish disappeared, and the pelican stood tall, waiting for its next easy meal. Watching it feed up close made its incredible mouth even more impressive. Sea urchin. The sea urchin may seem like just a spiky ball, but underneath, it hides something truly bizarre. A terrifying set of 5 sharp teeth arranged in a perfect circle. Known as Aristotle's lantern, this powerful jaw structure works like a constant grinding machine, strong enough to scrape through rock, coral, and even shells. What's even more shocking, these teeth never stop growing. As they wear down from endless chewing, new ones take their place, ensuring the sea urchin is always ready to bite into its next meal. Though small, its mouth is one of the most unique in the ocean. Getting too close might not be a good idea. Those sharp edges can deliver a painful reminder of nature's strangest designs.
Look at those teeth.
Common fangtooth fish. Deep in the abyss, where sunlight never reaches, the fangtooth moves through the water like a shadow. Its body is small, but its mouth tells a different story. Huge, needle-like teeth jut out from its jaws, so large that they have special grooves in its skull, just to fit when the mouth closes. Unlike many deep-sea creatures, the fangtooth doesn't rely on bioluminescence to hunt. Instead, it feels vibrations in the water, lunging at anything that comes too close. Its bite is powerful for its size, allowing it to grab prey much bigger than itself. In the darkness of the deep sea, having a mouth like this is a major advantage. Seeing one up close makes it clear this is a fish built for survival in the most extreme conditions. Hagfish. The hagfish might just be the slimiest creature in the ocean. Literally, this eel-like oddball doesn't have a jaw. Instead, it latches onto food with a round, tooth-covered mouth and scrapes away with sharp plates, drilling right into whatever it's eating. Its mouth works like a living suction cup, gripping tightly while its tongue-like structure moves back and forth. But here's the real horror. It doesn't chew. It just grinds and slurps, turning its meal into mush. And if that wasn't weird enough, this thing can ooze out buckets of slime in seconds. Even sharks can't handle the goo. With a mouth built for gripping, grinding, and slurping, the hagfish proves you don't need a jaw to be one of the ocean's strangest eaters. Penguins. Penguins are the definition of cute until they open their mouths. One second, they're waddling around looking like tiny gentlemen in tuxedos, and the next, they reveal a nightmare hidden inside. Instead of a normal bird mouth, theirs is lined with rows of spiky, backward-facing barbs covering the tongue and throat. These aren't just for decoration. They're designed to grab onto fish and make sure they never escape. When a penguin squawks, it's like staring into a portal of tiny, hooked teeth, and suddenly, they don't seem so innocent anymore. Cute? Absolutely, but their mouths? Pure nightmare fuel. Next time you see a penguin, just remember, behind that adorable face is a fish's worst nightmare. Cookie cutter shark. The cookie cutter shark may be small, but its bite is straight out of a horror movie. This deep-sea menace doesn't chase prey like a normal shark. Instead, it sneaks up, latches on with its suction-like lips, and then twists its body to carve out a perfect, round chunk of flesh. Like a living ice cream scooper. Its razor-sharp, saw-like teeth leave behind circular wounds on everything from fish to whales, and even submarines. Yes, submarines. These little sharks have been caught biting into underwater cables and equipment, mistaking them for food. With its glowing belly and sneaky attacks, the cookie-cutter shark proves that size doesn't matter when you've got one of the most bizarre and terrifying mouths in the ocean. Crabeater seal. The Crabeater seal has a name that's completely misleading because it doesn't eat crabs at all. Instead, it feasts on tiny krill, and its teeth are some of the weirdest in the animal kingdom. Unlike sharp fangs for tearing or flat molars for grinding, this seal's teeth are shaped like a built-in strainer. When it takes a big gulp of water, it pushes the liquid out through the gaps, trapping krill inside like a natural colander. Despite living in some of the coldest waters on Earth, the Crabeater seal thrives thanks to this bizarre feeding trick. It may look cute, but inside, that mouth is a set of teeth so unique that even scientists are amazed by how perfectly they work. Squid versus metal. The fishermen were curious about the squid's mouth, so they decided to put it to the test. One of them grabbed an empty can and carefully brought it near the squid's beak. The moment it made contact, crunch! The beak pierced straight through, leaving deep dents in the metal. This wasn't just for show. A squid's beak is designed to tear apart prey with ease, and it's one of the hardest natural substances in the ocean. And just behind that beak, a terrifying tongue-like organ covered in tiny, razor-sharp teeth, ready to shred anything that gets past the first bite. The fishermen exchanged glances. If a simple can couldn't survive this creature's bite, they definitely weren't putting their fingers anywhere near it. Woodpecker's strength? Woodpeckers don't just hammer trees. They've got one of the weirdest mouths in the bird world. Their tongues are insanely long, sometimes so long they wrap around their skull when not in use. Why? Because that's how they reach deep into tree bark to pull out insects. But it's not just the length that's wild. Their tongues are covered in tiny barbs perfect for grabbing prey, and their saliva is super sticky, making sure nothing escapes. Basically, if a bug is hiding, it doesn't stand a chance. And let's not forget their beak. It's built like a chisel, smashing through wood without a problem. So next time you hear a woodpecker hammering away, just know it's not just making noise. It's setting the perfect trap for a meal. Gulper eel.
It's moving along there.
The Gulper eel looks like it came straight out of a deep-sea horror movie, except this one doesn't need sharp teeth to be terrifying. When a scuba diver caught sight of it, the eel suddenly expanded its mouth like a giant balloon, turning its head into something way bigger than its body. It looked less like a fish and more like a floating bag with eyes. Its jaw stretched so wide that it could probably scoop up a meal twice its size in one bite. And just when it seemed done showing off, it deflated back into its usual slim shape, almost like nothing happened. This deep-sea creature is proof that the ocean hides some of the strangest surprises. And honestly, I'm not sure I want to see what else is lurking down there.
Is that a gulper eel then?
Wow.
Lamprey.
And there's its teeth. That tongue just cuts right into you.
This man reached out and pulled something strange off the rock. It looked like an eel, but as it twisted in his hand, he saw its circular mouth lined with sharp, hooked teeth. This was a lamprey, a creature that has roamed the waters for millions of years. Instead of jaws, it has a suction-like mouth that latches onto fish and other creatures. Once attached, its rough tongue scrapes the surface, drawing out nutrients. The lack of bones in its body gives it a flexible, snake-like movement, making it even more unsettling to watch. Though it might seem small, its mouth is a powerful tool built for gripping tightly.
Ooh, oh, he's biting. I can feel his teeth digging into my elbow.
Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon may look slow, but its mouth is something you don't want to mess with. Inside, it has sharp, curved teeth, perfect for biting through almost anything. And it's always drooling. But that's not just spit. Its mouth is packed with bacteria, making even a small bite a big problem. Then there's its tongue, long and forked, flicking in and out like it's tasting the air. When it opens wide, its mouth looks huge, almost like a deep pink tunnel leading to trouble. It doesn't roar or breathe fire, but that powerful jaw does all the work. One bite, and it holds on tight. This dragon may not fly, but with a mouth like that, it doesn't need to. Saltwater crocodile. When a saltwater crocodile opens its mouth, it's not just a bite, it's a warning. This massive reptile has one of the strongest jaws in the animal kingdom. As the man tossed food its way, the croc's mouth gaped wide, revealing rows of sharp teeth and a powerful bite that could snap almost anything in an instant. The moment the food landed, its jaws slammed shut with an earth-shaking force. Even the water seemed to shudder. Watching this beast eat was enough to remind everyone why it's the king of the river. If there's one thing you don't want to see up close, it's a saltwater crocodile's mouth in action. Shoebill stork. A strange clattering noise echoed through the house, and there it was, a shoebill stork standing tall like an uninvited guest, with its massive shoe-shaped beak and an intense, almost judgmental stare. This bird looked like it had serious business to handle. That sound? It was the sharp clapping of its beak, a habit shoebills use to communicate or intimidate. But the real surprise is inside that beak. Razor-sharp edges designed to grab and crush prey, from fish to even small crocodiles. Seeing one in person is enough to make anyone pause, especially when it decides to bring its eerie presence indoors. Camel spider. A camel spider might not be the size of a camel, but its mouth is definitely built for action. With two powerful chelicerae, essentially built-in scissors, it can slice through flesh with ease. These jaws don't just cut, they work like a pair of tiny, terrifying pliers, gripping and tearing apart anything unfortunate enough to get caught. Despite the myths, they don't chase people, but their speed makes it seem like they do. Found in dry deserts, they lurk in shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike their prey. Up close, those sharp, crushing mouthparts are enough to make anyone uneasy. If one of these speedy hunters ever runs toward you, don't panic. It's probably just looking for shade. Trapdoor spider. The trapdoor spider is a sneaky hunter. Instead of making a web, it builds a small underground home with a hidden door on top. It sits inside, waiting for something to walk by. Then, snap! The door flies open, and the spider grabs its prey with sharp fangs. Its mouth is made for biting and holding tightly, making sure nothing escapes. These spiders are strong for their size and move fast when they attack, but most of the time, they stay hidden, only coming out when they need food. If you ever see a strange little hole in the ground, it might not be empty. A trapdoor spider could be waiting just beneath, watching and ready to strike in the blink of an eye. Vampire bat. The Indian flying fox may look like something out of a horror movie, but it's actually just a giant, fruit-loving bat. With its wide wings and dark fur, it gives off a spooky vibe until you see its tiny face up close. Its mouth might seem sharp and fierce, but those teeth are just for munching on soft fruits like bananas and mangoes. When it opens its mouth, it might remind you of a vampire, but all it wants is a delicious meal. And when it yawns, it looks almost adorable. These bats are harmless, spending their nights flying through the sky, spreading seeds, and helping forests grow. So despite their eerie appearance, they're actually nature's fluffy little gardeners. Ants. Ants may be tiny, but if you ever see their mouth up close, you might never look at them the same way again. Those little mandibles are like nature's tiny power tools, sharp, strong, and always ready to chomp. Zoom in, and suddenly they look like terrifying alien creatures with giant pincers. Some ants use their jaws to cut leaves, others to grab food, and a few even have trap-like mandibles that snap shut in a blink. They might seem harmless when crawling around, but their bite can be surprisingly strong. Good thing they're small. Imagine if ants were the size of a cat. Now that would be terrifying, but don't worry, they're just tiny workers minding their own business, even if their close-up looks like something from a sci-fi movie. Piranha. Piranhas don't just bite, they shred. Their teeth are like tiny, perfectly sharp blades, packed together in a way that works like a saw. When they close their mouths, the top and bottom teeth fit together so well that nothing stands a chance. What's even stranger, their teeth fall out in sections and grow back all at once, like nature's version of a tooth upgrade. If that wasn't eerie enough, their bite is so precise that they can strip food clean in seconds, leaving nothing behind. Though they're not as wild as movies suggest, watching them use those teeth is enough to make anyone think twice before dipping a hand in the water. Tasmanian Devil. That wasn't just a growl, it was a full-on warning. The Tasmanian Devil had its mouth wide open, flashing a set of razor-sharp teeth that looked ready to snap. Its dark fur, torn ears, and glowing eyes made it look even wilder. But the real focus was that powerful jaw. These little creatures aren't big, but their bite is no joke. As soon as they sense danger, they lunge forward, adding to the intensity, whether it was defending itself or just showing who was boss. That gaping mouth was enough to make anyone freeze. If looks could bite, this one would have already taken a chunk out of the camera. Leatherback turtle. Nobody expected a turtle to have a mouth straight out of a nightmare. The leatherback turtle might look gentle from the outside, but inside its mouth, a different story. Rows of backward-pointing spines covered its throat, looking more like something from a horror movie than a sea creature. These weren't for chewing, just for making sure jellyfish had no way out. Once food went in, it was trapped, sliding deeper into that spiky tunnel. The soft, pinkish ridges added to the eerie look, making it seem like the turtle had a secret weapon hidden inside. It wasn't just a mouth, it was a one-way trip for anything unfortunate enough to get caught. And now, let's move on to the subscriber's pick. At first glance, a horse's mouth might not seem dangerous, but don't be fooled. These powerful animals have incredibly strong jaws, designed to grind tough plant material with ease. Their bite force can reach up to 500 psi, and their large, flat teeth are capable of crushing even hard objects. But it's not just their chewing power that makes them formidable. When threatened or irritated, horses can deliver a devastating bite. Their strong incisors can tear flesh, and there have been cases where people have suffered serious injuries from a horse's aggressive bite. While they are typically gentle creatures, their mouths can become dangerous weapons in moments of distress or aggression, proving that even herbivores can pack a deadly punch. And with that, see you next time.